Hiya kids, Blackie Black Metal back again here on Monday, July 22nd, 2013. And the King of England, or future King of England, was born today. Woo! Hooray! Hurrah! I'm an American metalhead, and this event really it doesn't mean much at all to me, to be honest with you. I have to be completely honest. I mean, it doesn't really mean I'm gonna get a bigger check because the king was born today or anything like that. So it just holds little significance to me, and apparently most of my followers on Twitter also, a lot of you guys really are not seeing the significance here of this little guy being born. But anyway, I happen to know a little bit about the royals in England, that kind of thing. And to be honest, it is kind of important, just because the Queen of England is technically the ruler of the free world. People don't really know it and don't really acknowledge it, just because the power of the British monarchy doesn't hold the same power it did at one time. But basically, just through the Commonwealth countries that are basically owned by the British Empire, it makes Queen Elizabeth the wealthiest person on earth. It really does. Look this shit up. I'm not kidding around. I didn't know it for the longest time, but it is indeed true. Queen Elizabeth is indeed the most wealthy person on earth and the most powerful person on earth. And that's, a lot of it is just through suggestion. Even if you had noticed that most of the world leaders on earth always go to go see her for whatever reason, have some kind of event where they go to meet her, and there's a reason. It's just because she is indeed the queen of the world, more or less. That's what that means. At one time, the English Empire was looked at as the empire of the world, just like it was basically what followed the Roman Empire. But more or less, this lady more or less is seen as the leader of all the free world. I need to get my facts together on it just to present a little better picture for it. But look it up. Anything that I could say has already been said by somebody else. But look it up. It is really kind of important that the King of England was born today, and who he is in line to the power and everything. Just look up Queen Elizabeth and exactly how powerful she really is, and I'm sure that there's more than a handful of websites that will back up exactly what I'm saying. Like, she's totally the it shit as far as world leaders, as far as people who have power or wealth. She is the shit. Look her up, Queen Elizabeth. Anyway, this is kind of one of those occasions where I should kind of wax fashion or some shit like that. I always wanted to do that. I grew up in the 90s, and I watched MTV all day, every day. That was like the rite of passage, is you passing from adolescence to your teen years, is how many hours of MTV do you get in. So needless to say, I watched it all. I watched all the good stuff. And one other thing that a lot of people forgot about is MTV's House of Style, hosted by Cindy Crawford. This show, really, like, I was a metalhead even then. I was all about getting to Saturday Night, Headbangers Ball, all of that. But I watched House of Style. House of Style was really some good shit, man. That was back in a time where individuality was really key when it came to even designers, even people who make outrageous sums of money for making clothes that people end up wearing maybe 15 years after they made them and put them into some kind of fashion show. You don't even see these clothes appear in the decade that they're usually made. They're usually later on. Now, like, kids they don't know it, but these fashion boutiques, these places they buy their clothes from, all this stuff was designed like in the mid to late 90s by designers that are famous. Like, they're people who don't even wear the shit that they suggest you wear to look cool. And that's what you want to be. Most definitely, I learned a lot of stuff about style and individuality from basically watching that show. Some of those guys who are stinking fucking rich now, like Todd Oldham, Jean-Paul Gaultier, who was another one that was real big on House of Style in the 90s. I believe some of everybody who's huge now. I'm pretty sure Dolce & Gabbana appeared on House of Style on at least a handful of occasions. But anyway, that show was really the it shit. Like there's so much missing from entertainment television now that was there in the beginnings, that kind of showed you more about the behind the scenes deal with entertainment and style and fashion and whatnot. And especially E too. E was great in the beginnings. I remember I was all about E at that time too. What was that? Probably mid 90s. Back when they used to do all the Cannes Film Festival week and everything with Sex on the River. Well, that was all awesome because of the porn parts. Like, oh god, everybody who watched it, who was a teen or an adolescent who was, starting to come into puberty, then Sex on the Riviera was the most awesome thing that you could ever see on basic television. Just because the mosaic censoring still kind of suggested boobs. It still was really like, it was like you almost could see it, just a notch right there underneath scrambled porn. It was something that if you couldn't get your hands on porn, it was the next best thing. Regardless, E and their coverage of all that shit back in the day really did kind of put me in a place of recognizing style and personal style and all this, all the shit that makes stuff run and look good. But that's definitely something I've always wanted to do, is kind of, do my little fashion critique thing. I feel like just because I'm the kind of guy who is more likely to try to like design something than wear it. I wear metal band t-shirts and black sneakers, that kind of thing. Like nothing that people host. That's the thing. Like the consumer is always going to be in the position of being the one suggested to. Like you can't even see like these people that you think don't have any sense of style are the people who design the clothes that you go out and you pay $200 a shirt for. You know what I mean? You have to really recognize that whole thing. What am I saying? Like people aren't going to get that. That's something that is totally like, it's for the cool people. If you went to cool school, then you get it. If you miss cool class, then you're the guy shopping for all this lame ass clothing and everything that people wear. But anyway, I was probably just gonna start it more from like Twitter, that kind of thing, stuff I see online or people wore on the day, just in general, and all together people who have unique individual style. Not even unique, but just simply good. Just because unique doesn't always mean good, that's the truth of it. So anyway, I was gonna totally talk about the whole royal baby deal and everything, but I don't know much about the baby. I know one thing though, Miss Middleton, excellent personal style. That is one thing that has definitely set her apart from but I mean, if you look at it, look at the it's not to make anything in poor taste, but I was a huge Princess Diana fan in the 90s. Like that was, to me, perfection. That was feminine perfection all together. Like her whole look, everything, the way she carried herself, her personal, fashion style or whatnot, and the hair. Like her hair was just immaculate. It truly was. There was no time that I ever saw her rock any kind of do that just didn't fit. That was the thing about Diana. Diana could rock any kind of, doesn't matter what it was, and she'd put on a fucking garbage bag and be wearing bedhead, and it would be just the look of that week. Everybody would be getting garbage bags and just not doing their hair before they go to work, But anyway, Princess Diana is definitely owed a nod for style. Rest in peace to Princess Diana. She's a great person altogether. I'm sure, all monarchy or princes or princesses do their little, thing where they kind of are a bitch to people or whatever. I'm sure she was, because if I had money, I would be a total prick too. I mean, what the hell? That's just kind of how money is. It makes you a little more demanding than people who don't have it. So I forgive her. But anyway, it does make me really reminiscent for the days that she was around, and the way she made the royals look. She had such great personal style that she really made Prince Charles look a lot better than what he actually did. As you can see now, he ended up looking the way he's supposed to. But I have to admit that the guy did, altogether carry himself a lot better when, he was. But see, that's the whole thing. They divorced, and then she ended up, dying or whatever. So it's kind of like, I don't know, what do you even call that situation? I don't know. I've never been married or anything, so I can't really step into that whole void area after you marry somebody, but they're still part of your life. So what do you really call them then? I don't know, but whatever. But anyway, Kate is right on up there in that area. She will be held to that same place at some point, I'm pretty sure, just because of the way and that's another thing, like, I don't know these royal people personally or whatever, but from my own personal observation, it kind of seems like she has mad similarities to Diana. Like, I could see why maybe William was attracted to her to a degree, just because, like, look at the way she even carries herself is so similar, like eerily. Like, I know the whole there was a really, really kind of in bad taste Newsweek cover probably a year or two ago, well, a few years ago, back when they first got engaged and everything, and they pictured Diana alongside Kate, and it was in horrible taste. The picture was really morbid looking and everything, but as much as that picture was really kind of in poor taste, it really did speak a truth. It really did kind of point out how they as two people seem so very similar. And I think that with this kid coming, she'll definitely come into her own as a presence, just the same way that Diana did. And for all you Americans that were alive during that time and know what I'm talking about, surely you can feel me. I know there's a lot of kids on online, YouTube and Twitter and shit that are probably not even gonna finish this video. But yeah, y'all gotta definitely know what I'm talking about as far as Lady Di and how we felt about her in that time, and how if you really felt that way about her, you can see a lot of it in Kate. Kate really does seem to be that up and coming presence. And even though she's not a blonde, everybody knows blondes are the best. Usually they are. But she's gonna come into her own, and she's gonna and even fashion wise, it's like her little sister Pippa there is kind of taking her place. But in my opinion, I think she's just really kind of just modern. It's really a basic look. It's really not even anything that pops about it to me. She just kind of seems to be fashion conscious, if anything else, as most people, or a lot of people with money, aren't necessarily. They just kind of buy what people say they should buy necessarily, and you can tell that she's really a conscious person of how her look and her her coordination looks and all that shit. Really, really great. That's another great looker there is Pippa. Pippa Middleton really does have a really good personal individual style. Gotta give it to her. And that's one thing that I know a lot of us metalheads kind of frown upon, don't look upon, but even we have to have our own personal styles. We have to, like, that's our whole deal. That's the whole point of being an individual, is being able to present your personal style to the degree of making it known and making it present to other people and having it stand out amongst other people. So hats off to some of these ladies who get on the cover in Style and Vogue and other reputable fashion mags or whatnot, because some of them truly do have excellent personal style. But anyway, within the next couple nights, I'm gonna go ahead and bust a little critique. I'm gonna try to get like just whatever was going on in the day or whatever, and hammer home some of my own little fashion points and shit. But anyway, that's my little video on the royals and fashion and shit and what happened today. And the little baby was born. He's gonna be the king of England. I mean, really, this is important, people. Pay attention. God, seriously. Hail metal, hail Satan.